Thank you. Then it is my pleasure to hand you over to Professor Panez over there, who will shortly describe the current picture of dying people in our society and ask you about its uncertainties.
Yes, thank you very much, Philippe. Your Holiness, I don't know what experience you have about hospital, but my question is related with dying at the hospital. I don't know if you know, but in our small country, Switzerland, it's a really small country. In 2011, 26,000 people died in the hospital. Only today, 70 people is dying in our hospital in Switzerland. And we know that in industrialized countries, between 50 and 70 people die today in medical institutions. And I would like to add that at the same time, this is the numbers, at the same time, we could say that in our developed healthcare system, death is overlooked or even denied. So we have a first kind of paradox. Many people die at the hospital, but in our healthcare systems, death is denied. The death is not at the appropriate place at the hospital. And we could try to think about that, and maybe this is a consequence of our medicine, our technical medicine, because we could hypothesize, we could say that in our medicine, the first problem is to prolong lifetime of the body, of the biological body, and less to take care of the end of life of persons, of the patients. And you see again, something is like a tension, like a paradox. And in this situation... And I would like to add that in this situation, in our situation, it's difficult for doctors to avoid medical obstinacy, because doctors try to save people. And sometimes this obstinacy is linked or generates moral and physical suffering for the patient. And I think we are facing now two paradoxes. The first paradox is quite obvious. Today, the hospital, I told it to you, the hospital is the main place where people die today. And in the same time, hospital is the least appropriate place to die. It's not a good place to die. But a lot of people are dying at the hospital. And I think there is a second paradox. Often, patients feel abandoned in the hospital at the end of life, in spite of the fact that medical efforts, medical doctors maintain them alive. They feel abandoned, and at the same time, medical doctors are helping them to stay alive. So you think this is the general situation in a few words. So I would like to ask you really a general question. What do you think about the fact that today the majority of people in our societies die at the hospital?
What do you think about the majority of people today? Actually, I think very good. Although hospital is not the place to die, but hospital is suppose, I think, prevent death. So then, death take place in hospital means now there's end any sort of possibility. So no regret. If you see die, even your own home, there's some friend or the person, dying person, himself or herself also may feel, oh, if I can get some treatment in hospital, I may live another week or month, like that. So I think that's good. So what is the problem?
Okay, but
I think something spoiled. I think like in India, you see, large number of population. They're taking care by hospital, by medical some medical people, not adequate. But you have plenty. Then you see, you feel some kind of frustration. That's, I think, that's deep trouble. Deep trouble.
Because the facilities are too good. It's important that when people lack, then they're really eager to have help, medical help, which they don't get.
Well, you have all these facility. That some people then this question whether you should die in hospital or what. May I put that another way, little bit blunt? This is a silly question.
Okay.
Then, of course, I think you usually as a people, because an expert, a specialist in certain field, then the specialist you should take care each individuals. So some individual case is unhappy. So take that and then you should put big question. I think that's in time charo. Come to me down. Some down
Cold atmosphere, family,
Then, yes, attitude by doctors and nurses, that makes differences. I think all of you, I think, have sort of same experience. I also used to have the experience. Sometimes it's a big hospital, the machines, equipment, wonderful. But the person who really handled these doctors or nurses treated you like a machine, taking care or repair one sort of mechanic thing. Then here, no need affection or respect. If we, while repairing, sometimes in the past I also say repair a watch. So when I repair watch, no need respect, no need affection, but simply handle that. We human being, even animal, not like that. So we must sort of show human affection. No matter your sort of expertise, good, but without human feeling, or then the patients, I also sometimes to say, doctor, without smile, and take your hand like that and put injection. Then sometimes you feel a little uncomfortable, isn't it? Yeah. And then it's a doctor or nurses really showing you real human feeling and some kind of expression of real concern of the person's or a patient's health, like that. Then you feel, oh, now these people are really taking care of me. So we are sort of living being who have the experience of feeling, or pleasure, the pain and pleasure in mental level, beside physical level, mental level. So therefore, that is, I think, very, very important. I think that you can easily sort of carry some kind of lesson concerning people of hospital. You see, occasionally, some kind of discussions, not only profession quality, but also the human sort of the affection on these are something very relevant, something very important. I often used to telling people in Tibet, you see, when I was there, you see, some people say, oh, such physician, their knowledge is immense, very good, but their medicine not very effective because that doctor's heart is not very good. But then, such doctor, their sort of knowledge about medicine may not be so high, but very warm-hearted person. So their medicine is much more effective. I think to some extent, I think that's true. That's true. So I think some kind of seminar and some, also they invite some sort of psychologist, psychotherapist. This is some who have some expertise about how to deal with human mind. Then some lecture, some discussion may be helpful. Again here, which we already talked, the secular ethics is very, very relevant, this field.
Right.
Every human action, whether become positive or negative, ultimately depend on that motivation, and that motivation very much related with moral principle. Any motivation, any sort of human activities carried with moral principle, then all movement good, positive. If human activities is carried by negative motivation, harming or careless, then difficult. Yes?
Thank you. But do you think that to have a good heart is a natural condition?
Good.
Also good heart and natural, 让心这边的。
可以 Good. Yes. Because our life start with, firstly, from mother's womb. Then, as soon as born, mother's physical touch is very, very essential, very important factor for proper development of child's brain. Then, obviously, next at least a few, I think a few years, the mother's affection is most important factor for proper development of the body and development of mind. That's very clear. There's some sort of scientist carry experiment. Young monkey, some young monkey put with mother, some young monkey separated from mother. Then watch that those young monkey with mother always playful, very happy mood, separated, ready to fight, always in bad mood. So we also same. So here, no differences, believer, non-believer, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, Easterner, Westerner, Northerner, Southerner, no differences. So anyone who appreciates others' affection, that automatically have potential to show affection to others. So that's the human nature. That's a biological factor. For our own survival, we need that. The last year, I saw one article, one American scientist. He mentioned those people who tell lies quite often. The stress is much higher. It is quite logical. No, tell truth, self-confidence, isn't it? No anxiety. The truth, we can always tell face to face, looking their eye, you can tell the truth. If you have some different sort of motivation, then we can show smile, but our eye cannot look directly. A little bit uncomfortable. So that automatically, you see, increase anxiety, right? Stress, like that. So therefore, basically, human nature, I believe, human nature is more gentleness. And I think children, I think they don't care about formality or these things. Whatever they feel, they express. They are very honest. That's a basic human nature. Through education, our mind becoming more sophisticated, then the basic good quality, what we call dormant survey. No further sort of activated. Right?
Enhancement.
So that's, I think, a mistake. Our education only take care brain development, neglect about warm-heartedness. And that part, when separate education institutions started, church take care of that. And family also take care, I think, to some extent. Now both fields, influence of church decline. And also family value also sometimes a little sort of neglect. And certainly those as a children's parent divorce, or worst thing, parent themselves abuse. Really terrible. So then gradually such people, such children, the basic good quality, then gradually become thinner. And then instead aggressiveness, suspicion, anger, frustration, these things now increasing. So that's why we are facing unnecessary problem. Actually, I always say, I believe 7 million human beings, no one wants problem. Isn't it? No one wants trouble. But ultimately, we ourselves become troublemaker. Why? So, due to lack of holistic, due to lack of long-term interest, we not taking fully about the ability of our sort of brain, look, reality, holistic, because too much emotion. Once emotion develop, our view become biased. Then we can't see the reality. Just short-sighted way, short-term interest, like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.